Good morning. Welcome to Tata Chem DAV Public School Mithapur online classes. I am Mrs. Kavita Modi, your maths teacher for class 6. Today we are going to start chapter 1, natural numbers and whole numbers. In this chapter, our topic is distributive property of multiplication over addition. The first is simply knowing what the word distribute means. To distribute something means to give it to each member of a group. The distributive property is actually a way of allowing us to change the order of operation we do in certain types of problems. To see what I mean, have a look at this simple expression. 2 times the group 4 and 6. We are going to simplify this equation in 2 different ways. The first way will just use the basic order of operation rule that you already know. Let's revise it once. BDMAS means first we solve bracket, then division, then multiplication, then addition, and then subtraction. This rule tells us that we need to do any operation inside of group first. So first need to add the 4 and 6 which give us 10. Next we multiply that by the 2 which give us a final answer of 20. Now we use distributive property. The distributive property allows us to change this expression into a different form. Instead of multiplying the 2 by the whole group at once, we can distribute that factor of 2 and multiply it by each member of group individually. So after applying the distributive property, our expression look like this. 2 times 4 plus 2 times 6. By using DMAS, first we do multiplication and then we do addition. So 2 times 4 is equal to 8 and 2 times 6 is equal to 12. 8 plus 12 is equal to 20. So we get the same answer in both cases. If you distribute the factor of each member of the group, you will get same answer. If you calculate what is in the group first and then multiply, and it works no matter how many members are in the group. For example, we have to multiply 5 by the group 1 plus 2 plus 3. Again, let us try simplifying this both the ways. In the first way, we start by simplifying what is in the group. 1 plus 2 plus 3 is equal to 6, and then we multiply 5 times 6 which give us 30. Now let us use the distributive property. We distribute a factor of 5 to each member of group which make the group go away and allow us to do those multiplication individually. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10 and 5 times 3 is 15. Finally, we add 5 plus 10 is 15 and 15 plus 15 is equal to 30. See, the distributive property gives us another way to arrive at the same answer. Distributive property is an alternate path that you can take to arrive at the same point. So we have 2 ways to get the same answer. But why do we need 2 different ways to do the same calculation? And it will seem like the distributive property way was even more complicated than the regular way. Why would we ever want to use it? That is a good question, and it is true. There are times where the distributive property way is harder, like in our first example. But there are also times when the distributive property way is easier. Distributive property is easy? How? Look at the next example which helps you to understand. See the example. 9 times the group 50 plus 3 by BDMAS. First need to do add the 50 and 3 which give us 53. Next, we multiply that by 9, which is not easy to do mentally. So the answer is 477. But we apply distributive property and change this expression into different form. 9 times 50 plus 9 times 3, and that is easier to do mentally. 9 times 50 is 450 and 9 times 3 is 27. So the answer is 450 plus 27 is equal to 477. Now, before we wrap up, this is one more important thing you should know about the distributive property. You already know that the distributive property works when the number of a group are being added, but it is works the same way for member of a group that are being subtracted. Like in this problem, 2 times 98, which is not easy to do mentally, but if we apply distributive property and change the expression into a different form, 2 times the group 100 minus 2, 2 times 100 minus 2 times 2, that is easier to do mentally. 2 times 100 is 200 and 2 times 2 is 4. So 200 minus 4 is equal to 196. So by distributive property, we can easily solve this problem. Remember, the distributive property works for group of any size and it works the same for group members that are being added or subtracted, even if there is a mixture of addition and subtraction in the group. But the distributive property does not work when the member of a group are being multiplied or divided. So the distributive property is a handy way to rearrange arithmetic expression. It is like a tool that you can use in certain situation if you think it will make a particular calculation easier to do. Hope the concept of distributive property is clear to you. Students, you need to practice more and more because practice makes a man perfect. The more you practice, the more you are going to enjoy maths. Thank you. Have a nice day.